Willow Creek, a name that conjured images of lazy Sundays and lemonade porches, a place where time seemed to drift along the currents of the creek itself, slow and steady. Generations had built their lives here, their laughter and sorrows echoing in the very grain of the houses lining Main Street. But change, like a restless wind, had begun to stir. The old general store stood shuttered, a casualty of the gleaming supermarket on the highway. The whispered fear of fading into obscurity hung heavy in the air, a counterpoint to the cheerful chirping of crickets. Progress, it seemed, had come knocking, and not everyone was ready to open the door. The heart of the impending change was a proposed development project on the outskirts of town, a project promising jobs, prosperity, a future for Willow Creek's children and grandchildren. Yet for some, it felt like trading the soul of their town for a fleeting promise of prosperity. This tension, this silent tug-of-war between the allure of the new and the comfort of the familiar, was epitomized in the debate swirling around the old oak tree. Standing sentinel at the entrance of town, the oak was more than just a tree, it was Willow Creek's living history. Olivia, her weathered hands clutching a worn photograph, stood beneath the oak's sprawling branches. The photo showed her great-grandfather, a twinkle in his eye, planting the very same sapling. Back then, Willow Creek was but a whisper of a town. The oak, a silent witness to generations, had stood firm through storms and sunshine, its roots anchoring the town's spirit. Olivia traced the inscription on the back of the photo, "Our roots run deep." Tears welled in her eyes. To Olivia, the oak represented the enduring spirit of Willow Creek. It was a living testament to the values her town held dear: resilience, community, a deep connection to the land. The thought of it being sacrificed for a parking lot, for progress that felt cold and impersonal, filled her with a grief that ran bone deep. It felt like erasing a part of herself, a part of all those who had called Willow Creek home. Across town, James, Olivia's grandson, pored over blueprints, his brow furrowed in concentration. He saw not just lines on paper, but a bustling town square, a community center humming with activity. He envisioned a Willow Creek where his children wouldn't have to leave to find opportunities, where the laughter of children playing wouldn't be drowned out by the silence of empty storefronts. Progress to James meant a future for his town, a chance to thrive, not just survive. He understood his grandmother's attachment to the oak, to the past. He too felt the pull of its history, the weight of its presence. But to him, progress wasn't about erasing the past, it was about building upon it. He envisioned a compromise, a way to honor the oak's legacy while still moving Willow Creek forward. He dreamed of a town square built around the oak, a space where the past and the future could coexist, where the oak would continue to stand as a symbol of Willow Creek's enduring spirit. Section 4. The Oak's Legacy. The town meeting was packed. The air crackled with tension as thick as the humid summer air. Olivia sat in the front row, her weathered hands clasped tightly in her lap, a sea of familiar faces behind her. She listened as James, his voice echoing in the hushed hall, presented his vision, a plan to incorporate the oak into the new development. He spoke passionately, his words a blend of respect for Willow Creek's past and hope for its future. His words sparked a flicker of hope in Olivia's heart. Perhaps progress didn't have to mean erasure. Perhaps it was possible to build something new without tearing down the old. The oak, she realized, had always been a symbol of resilience, of adaptation. It had weathered storms, droughts, and the changing seasons. It had stood firm as the town grew around it. Section 5. Bridging the Divide. As the meeting progressed, a sense of cautious optimism began to fill the room. Voices, once raised in anger and frustration, softened, giving way to thoughtful discussion. Olivia, her initial resistance slowly giving way to a glimmer of understanding, listened as her neighbors shared their hopes and fears. The oak, it seemed, had become a catalyst, bringing to the surface the unspoken anxieties of a town grappling with change. James's vision, once met with skepticism, began to take root in the hearts and minds of the townspeople. They began to see the oak not as an obstacle, but as a centerpiece, a reminder of their shared history. The possibility of a future where the old and the new could coexist, where progress didn't necessitate the erasure of the past, began to dawn on them. Section 6. A Tapestry of Time. The setting sun cast long shadows across Willow Creek as Olivia and James walked hand in hand towards the oak. A gentle breeze rustled its leaves, creating a symphony of whispers that seemed to echo the town's history. They stood there for a moment, grandmother and grandson united by their love for their town and the silent giant that had borne witness to it all. The future of Willow Creek was still unwritten, but for the first time in a long time, there was a sense of hope in the air. The oak, Olivia realized, would continue to stand as a symbol of Willow Creek, a living testament to its enduring spirit. It would shade the new town square, its leaves whispering stories of generations past to the children who played beneath its branches. Willow Creek was changing, but some things, the important things, would remain the same. Progress, it seemed, didn't have to mean losing sight of where they came from. It could be about weaving the threads of the past into the tapestry of the future.